Good morning, ladies and gents. So for today's activity, you're going to be doing the following things. You're going to watch these videos, obviously, for reading the formative open book or for taking the reading formative open book quiz. After you watch the video, that'll give you some background as to what is expected for the short answers, the type 2s on the quiz. And then you're going to take the open book quiz. After that, you're going to complete 15 minutes of MobyMax time. There are going to be 4 different links listed down here for you. Obviously, the MobyMax link, make sure you're in the language section for that practice. Secondly, you're going to have a link to the formative assessment, which is going to be called formative. You're going to have a link for the actively learn area, which is where you can access the story that you need for the open book quiz. And then you're going to lastly have a link for this video listed for this assignment. So let's look at the type 3s for this assignment. The first type 3 for this assignment reads, or type 2, excuse me, for this assignment reads, according to the author, what's the main obstacle to exploring the ocean depths? Explain why, citing evidence from the text. So to get this answer correct and earn 5 points on this type 2, you need to make sure that you think of the best answer for what their main obstacle in the story was for exploring the depths of the ocean. Keep in mind, go back to that living in the dark text in Actively Learn. It looks like this. Okay, so it's got a little blue picture up here and it says living in the dark with the author's name. So make sure that that one's open because that's going to really help you dig through this for all of the multiple choice answers as well as for how to answer the type 2s. So once you go through this and you find an area that you think really helps you to answer that question of what the main obstacle is for exploring the ocean depths, from there you can start forming up your response. Remember, your response should be answered in a paragraph. You begin with explaining the main obstacle they had for exploring the ocean. You follow that with something from the text Living in the Dark as a quoted piece of evidence. And then make sure that after that evidence, you give your full sentence analysis where you explain how that evidence does in fact help to support that main obstacle you began your answer with. Remember, after you type in the whole paragraph, make sure that you, as a self-check, you underline that opening sentence where you explain that main obstacle. You put quotation marks around your piece of evidence, and then you boldface the part that you would say is the explanation where that full sentence analysis is taking place, where you're explaining how that quote, in fact, does answer and show the main obstacle that you mentioned in the opening part of your sentence. In the second type 2 response, you're answering the question, why have whale falls, hydrothermal vents, and cold seeps changed the way scientists think about life? Cite text evidence to support your answer. Again, set this up as a paragraph response. And with your paragraph response, make sure that you are first and foremost leading with your answer where you explain all 3 whale falls, hydrothermal vents, and cold seeps and their impact for the way they changed how scientists think about life in the ocean or life in general in the ocean. You may go back into the text to find a section from within here that does help connect to and support how these 3 areas have changed the way scientists think about life. And then from there, lead with your opening sentence. Follow that with a part of evidence from this passage that you think helps to support your answer choice. And then follow that evidence with your full sentence analysis, where you're connecting those specific details from your evidence back to the opening answer you gave for why whale falls, hydrothermal vents, and cold seeps change the way scientists think about life. Again, this one is also worth 5 points. Make sure as your self-check, you underline that opening statement you made to answer the question. You put quotation marks around your piece of evidence, and you boldface that part where you connect the details from your evidence back to the answer you originally gave. So go ahead and begin. Don't forget that after you take this open book quiz, your next step is to make sure that you are doing your 15 minutes of MobyMax time for the day. So go ahead and get working.